Que lo que Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 26 of Knicks Fans Wildin'. Today we have a special show for you guys. We have Joshua Clennon in the building. This man is doing a lot of work for the community. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the episode where he kind of explains everything he does. Make sure to go on his website, joshuaclennon.com. Um, Big time Knicks fan as well. We talk a lot Knicks, a lot of things going on, and we talk about this season. This Knicks season has been weird to say the least. I mean, just when we thought the Knicks were dead out the water, they come back and they've won three in a row, and they play Memphis Friday. So we're gonna see what they got. A few games left in the season, and the kids are balling. You know, it sucks that Cam Reddish is gonna be out, but it's a lot to be played. So you already know the vibes. Triple M, Don Juan, and special guest Joshua Clennon in the building today. Enjoy the episode, people. Yo, que lo que Knicks fans, as stated, we are here with Joshua Clinton. Big, huge, super excited to have my boy on this channel today. And Don Juan, man, you do the intro, man, for Josh.
It's my guy, man. We go back to it's funny because it's a small world, man. Who would have thought would have met a kid from Harlem out in Penn State, man? Honestly, I was out there looking for friends, looking for people that could relate to, and honestly, it wasn't many people, man. And out of all people, I met Josh, aka Jiggy, man, was from across the hall. We became best buds. I mean, he went to FDA, he went to Cardinal Hayes. I mean, we probably crossed paths in the bus somehow in the BX19 or 145th. But man, my guy Jiggy, what's going on, man? It's been a while, and my guy doing big things for the community, and it's nice to have you here, bro. Because I mean, it's been long awaited. We've been talking like we always chop it up next and whatnot on social media, but this is something different. We put you on the platform here to see what the fan is about. Because I know we've been through it even when we were in college, man. We've been going through it, man. So
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Me and Juan, like you said, we go way back. We've been talking about the Knicks since in college. Just all the ups and downs with the Mellow years, the D'Antoni years. So and we've come a long way now. So I'm excited to talk about the Knicks. Also share like a little bit about the stuff that I do in a community. I'm on a community board at Harlem. I work in affordable housing, and I'm just one of the next generations of young leaders in the political game, trying to come up, make change, and bring our communities up and moving forward.
mm, that's what we need, man. That's literally what we need, man. We need some representation up there in
Yeah,
whether it's in
for sure,
Washington
man.
or in politics.
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't checked it out, go to joshuaclennon.com. We're gonna put that website uh, on the bottom there. And just briefly, per Joshua's website, Joshua currently serves as the treasurer of Manhattan Community Board, co-chair of Economic Development for the NAACP Mid Manhattan, secretary of the Community Advisory Board for the Harlem Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation. And yeah, man, just a busy man, and for him to take some time out of his day to talk next, that's super special. But let's get into the nitty gritty before we give you your shot, Josh. Let's talk about these New York Knicks. And man, the New York Knicks
Mm.
are just a weird team. Last week I came on the show, camouflaged out, camouflage hat, camouflage sweater. I was ready for the tank. I'm already starting to do my research on draft players. And then out of nowhere, this team goes on a 3 game winning streak, absolutely demolishing the Kings, beating the Mavericks out the building, and a nice win against the Clippers. And they it's led by our young guys. RJ Barrett really coming to his own. And as much as Knicks fans hate him, Julius Randle has been a beast. Looking like all NBA Julius Randle from last year, scoring 46 points against the Kings. And man, this is crazy, man. Let's talk about the Knicks, Don Juan. I want to start with you. 3 game winning streak. Are you mad or are you happy with this?
Bro, I mean, I can't be mad, man. I cannot be mad, guys. Honestly, this is it is. I'm not gonna say it's long awaited. There's only 3 games, granted, but it's been long awaited that the young guys are getting the minutes. I mean, McBride, for crying out loud, he's been stuck in the G League, and when he does come up to the Knicks, he's just riding the bench. And this is a guy that we've been needing a point guard out there for a while now, and IQ's been getting his fair share of point guard coming off the bench, but we need another point guard that could, whether it's handle the ball or just could defend
Mhm.
these quick point guards that are out there. I mean, for crying out loud, Alec Burks, he's 6'6". He can't defend these small guys. So why not throw in McBride, who's known for defense, who can shoot the three ball? Why not play him out there? So it's just nice to see like guys like him. I mean, even Sims, Triple M. Before we started recording, we briefly talked about Sims and how you even noticing. I mean, everybody's noticing that Sims is actually he's a decent player. He could ball out there. He was a second round pick. Don't get confused. Like, yeah, he was the late second round pick, but the kicker ball, he's for his position. I feel like he's advanced for that second round title. So I mean, he deserves to be getting minutes. I'm glad that their 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 minutes are translating to wins, and maybe they're gonna be that piece in for the championship team later on. So we'll see, man. 3 game winning streak. I'm not going crazy. I would still want them to lose a couple more, but
Yeah,
we still got a nice stretch ahead. We got 16 games. I'm not gonna go crazy. We got a couple 3 games that I'm not gonna overlook either. So we'll see what
let's
happens,
go.
man. But
Let's
three
go. We're
games,
gonna
I'll
we
take it.
we gonna talk about this tank or playing briefly. But Joshua, you look like you excited for the kids to be playing, man. How do you feel about this 3 game winning streak? Excuse me. Look at that. I'm just used to saying losing streak.
Yeah, I'm proud of the kids, man. I was one of those folks who was calling for the young players to play from the beginning of the season. I think we got to see what we have with these guys. We had a lot of draft picks, and I think we kind of fumbled our most recent picks, like Kevin Knox, even Frank. I don't think we really gave them the opportunities that they needed to develop. So I think with all these young players, we got to play them. We got to give them an opportunity to see what we have with them. So we see like who we can build around, who we might need to move. So it's good to see them playing well right now. But on the other hand, I don't think we should be, I think we should be tanking. To move up in this lottery, we need to try to get uh Ivy or whoever we can get. Like it don't make sense to be trying to get into the plane right now. We're gonna get knocked. Even if we make it through the plane, we're not getting out of the first round, y'all. Come on, like
Mm.
let's be real, we not.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
why
mean, for sure.
why like it's just funny that Tibbs is just now switching up the rotation and now we're playing so well. If he would have did this like 2, 3 months ago, maybe we would even be in this situation, right? We'd probably be like
Seriously.
sixth, seventh, eighth seed.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but just to give you an argument, you look at the Knicks, they were at one point 22 and 23. Um, they completely nosedived the last month and a half, month and change. And this year has been so weird with COVID. I'm not defending Tibbs. We've been on the show. I mean, Tibbs has just been bad. You cannot defend bad coaching.
Bro.
I mean, the Knicks have blown multiple double-digit leads, and that's just a player and a lot coaching. You got to bring in the right subs. You got to bring in the right momentum, call the right timeouts. I mean, we always talk about that second challenge that he did foolishly, leaving the Knicks with no timeouts against OKC. Might have cost us that game easily. And but to 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 say the kids could have came played earlier, it's hard, man. It's hard to say because there's so much politics and optics in the NBA. I mean, they just gave Evan Fournier 78 millions. I mean, to tell that guy, all right, you coming off the bench. I mean, it goes deeper than us. You know that it goes deeper than us.
Great six man because even in the offense, we don't really utilize him enough. I feel like if he came off the bench as the primary scorer, go-to scorer off the bench, he would kill, and
Yeah.
he would really be able to showcase all his skills because we kind of just utilize him as just a floor spacer in the starting lineup. We don't really run too many plays for him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree definitely because Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier was a nightmare defensively, and not in a good way. That was pretty bad, and I would agree with you because Fournier coming off the bench, he'll immediately space the floor for these guys. Especially when D Rose comes back, and D Rose thrives in driving and kicking out. So Fournier would look wonderful in that lineup. But who
He'd be like
knows?
a talent hero, just cooking bench players.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's exactly what it is. I feel like that's probably more his tier level, where he gets to take advantage of these guys and move RJ to his natural position, which is a shooting guard, which is
It's-
another thing, So it definitely, I mean, he's not gonna get benched from like. There's no way he gets benched, but that's these are good things to point out. I mean, hopefully Tibbs even because I don't think he's gonna change the lineup that drastically now, but maybe next year, who knows? I mean,
Yeah,
who knows if Fournier is on the team? But that's
hopefully not. But
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I like Fournier. I think he's a good team player. I think he's a leader on the team. He brings that maturity, and I think he also brings where he's not afraid to kind of call out the coaching, call
Mm,
out the team's effort in the press conferences, and I think we need that as a team. So I wouldn't even mind keeping him because we need players who are gonna just speak up. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's one of the things holding back the Knicks right now because this dynamic with Julius and Tibbs, they're so loyal to each other, they won't call each other out for anything. Tibbs is not holding him accountable, and vice versa. Nobody, Julius, as who's supposed to be the best player, he's not. RJ's the best player, but he's supposed to be the best
supposed
player
to be, yeah.
and this dude is not critical of anything. He's not critical of Tibbs at all. So I think that in itself is a problem why this team is not reaching its full potential on the court.
yeah, and Fournier has
Right.
done that in post games, especially late game execution. He says like he said it one game like we just had five guys out there that have never even practiced together. So how are we gonna execute that right play? I mean, he flat out said it. So like you said, Fournier, he does call it out. He does it subtly. So it's interesting. And shooting is a premium in the NBA. And as much as people bash that contract, it's only 18 million. You look around the league. I saw a Dallas game yesterday. Bertans is getting over 22 million, and he couldn't make a corner three to save his life. So
Mm-mm.
it's just a shaky situation. But let's go into that main topic that we all want to talk about: to tank or to play in. As I mentioned, there is 16 games left in the season. We're 3.5 games back of the Hornets and the Hawks. Disclaimer: we do see the Hornets two more times as well this season. Kind of control our own destiny. And we also see Atlanta.
Yes.
And despite the next 3 games being a little more difficult, the schedule gets a little choppier, easier kind of thing. It's like not playing those top teams anymore. But let's get right into it, fellas. Tanking or playing? I'm gonna go with you, Joshua. You already said what you want to see
Yeah,
briefly, but
I
I
got
want you to get more in depth. What do you want to see? Where would you want to fall? I mean, there's 16 games left in the season. What would be
you.
an ideal record for you?
Ideally, we don't win any more games. I'll be.
Um,
I think we should play.
Oh man.
We should play all the kids. Maybe reduce Julius's minutes a little bit because he's always like leading the league in minutes per game. Maybe cut his minutes. Hopefully, Obi comes back. It's sad that Cam is going to be out for the rest of the season. I wanted to see him play more. He just started to hit his stride. But I don't think I don't see the sense of making the plans. I just don't. We're not going to go anywhere, and long term, it's going to hit the team. If we can move up in the draft and possibly package a player or a future pick and get like a Jaden Ivey, I think that's the move that we need to lock in on because we need to stabilize the point guard position. Quickly is he's doing his thing, but I don't think he's a true point. I think he would play well with another point, so he can just focus on attacking. I think that's his game. When he's just focused on attacking the defense, it opens up the rest of his game. Then he's able to make plays. But when he has to think about getting guys involved, that's when we see him sort of get into these ruts because he's overthinking and hesitating on offense. So I would like to see us stabilize the point guard position. And if we have the opportunity to do that, we got to lock in on that.
yeah. Besides Jaden Ivey, are you interested in anybody else? Like, or you just been looking at Ivy's game a little bit?
I got to do more research on some of these players. He's the best point guard that I've seen. Like I just like his size. He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
And he's kind of like he's kind of like a John Morant prototype. So if we can get that, that'd be great. But I'm definitely going to do more research on some of the other points, especially if we end up winning and we go.
Don Juan, you said you was all in on the tank last week. I mean, you change your mind every week.
Yes,
You
I
know, it is
was,
what
man,
it
and
is.
I'm still there. Logically,
Still on
I'm
the
still
tank?
there. Don't get me wrong, I'm still there because at the end of the day, that's how we improve that one asset we have. You know, but at the same time, I mean, it's gonna be tough for us to really catch up to those last teams that pretty much solidified those three picks. I mean, we're realistically we're not losing these next 16 games. We're gonna win at least 2 to 3. Granted, I picture maybe one, maybe two realistic ones. I think I got the Blazers and I got the Wizards, and those are within the next 4 games. So after that, I mean, there's no way they lose 14 games consecutively. They're gonna catch some people by surprise, and just based on how they've been playing these last 3 games, I mean, they've been showing up, man, and they're either catching a lot of teams by surprise or something is clicking with this team. So I can. And then another thing is that realistically, I just wanted the young guys to play. That's all I wanted. It wasn't even a tank. It was like maybe the tank is what's going to lead to the young guys playing. The young guys are playing and is leading to wins. I can't be mad. I can't be mad. Who am I to say, you know what, reduce RJ's minutes? Reduce, nah, because at the same time, like RJ is hitting his stride. We can't pull him back right now. It's gonna hurt. I mean, who knows? It can hurt him. It cannot. But I'm pretty sure it's not gonna hurt him playing these minutes right now. Playing against good teams that at the same time, the expectation from this team was to compete and make the playoffs. Let these guys play. Let them play it out. If they lose the next 16 games with the same team, I mean, we've been losing playing the starters. You know what I mean? Like it's not like this team is top tier either. But let these guys play it out, see where they end up in the season. But it's just funny that we're on a 3 game winning streak and we could really make the play-in right now. Like last week, it was really like, nah, that's it. Maybe we really hit, because the thing is, after we hit before the All-Star break, we lose these 20-point lead games. And then, at that point, it's like, nah, there's just no way we make the play-in. And then follow up with the Sixers loss. I mean, those were great games, but then the Suns was like the boom, like there's no way you guys making the
That's
play-in.
it. Done.
And
I
after that
want
heartbreak,
more.
it's like, you know what? Let's just go for that movement. Let's just tank and whatnot. Let the young guys play. But I mean, McBride is playing winning basketball. Sims is playing great ball. IQ is doing his thing. I mean, this team is hungry. They play well. They clearly are playing well with their backs against the wall. So let's just see how the dice is roll. I mean, at the same time, when we got RJ, we had the worst record. We were third place in the league. I mean, we had the worst record in the league. We had the third pick. The Lakers, the Pelicans, and Memphis all had 30 plus wins and ended up right around, whether it's 1, 2, and 3 Pelicans and Grizzlies, they had 30 some wins, and the Lakers had the fourth pick, and they had about 36, 37 wins. So I mean, at the same time, you kind of need to just play. The odds is there, obviously, but you kind of need to let the dice roll and see where you land.
Yeah, man. Joshua does not want to see any more Taj Gibson in the game. He doesn't want.
Hey,
He's ready to send Taj
I
Gibson.
don't, I don't even think Taj wants to play
Bro, I
anymore.
love Taj. He's a great, veteran leader, veteran presence. But I don't think, we gain anything from giving Taj minutes. Like we
That's a
need
fact.
to we need to give Sims these minutes, see what we have with him. We need to let Mitch hoop. Um, and then even what's this other guy that we had on the team? Luka Semanchik. Like where's he
All
at?
semantic, yeah.
Yeah,
He's been
like,
hurt. He's been hurt. He's been hurt most of the season in the G League. He hasn't even been playing down there in the G League. I don't know if he has a season-ending injury or he's just working his way back from injury. Not really sure, but he is a top 20 pick, I think. Or not
right.
last.
Shit, he might be top within
Healthy,
the top 20, bro. He was up there.
like throw him 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah, yeah. See what you got. But then that's the thing. Like, man, Randall's gonna take it hard. Fournier, I mean, granted, Fournier is we shouldn't be playing him more than 30 minutes, but
I'm done with Randall. We got to trade Randall to RTG.
Yeah,
Even though he's putting up numbers like that last game last night, we literally force fed the Randall the ball so he could get his points in his hometown. But he was
mm,
playing terribly up until like the fourth quarter. It was horrible. It was horrible basketball.
the third
Like,
he cooked up in the third.
yeah, like the end of the third, he started hitting shots. He started to get his rhythm. But RJ was balling. Had 14 points the first half. He only touched the ball like 2 times in the third quarter. Got
Yeah,
yeah.
two.
but the Mavericks loaded up on him. Reggie Bullock, they started doubling team him, and Julius Randle had Maxi Kleber and Dorian Finney-Smith on them at the same time.
He
Like
was still forcing it, turning the ball over. I mean,
he
RJ
had 20
literally
points in the third. He had 20 points in the third
for
quarter.
the ball, and they was like not running anything for him. Like it was
That
crazy.
could be a problem. That
How
could
about
definitely be a problem.
not? Well, you know, is the story. You know, he's from Dallas. He got family here. Let him have his night. We're up 20 points. You know, it happens. It happens. Just like those revenge games where you just let that guy from the other team that you know you was just on that team. You know, we don't run away from it like Ben Simmons. You know, but you come and produce on whether it's your home team, your hometown, you come and show up. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
But what actually I got a question though for you, Josh. What's somebody you would want the Knicks to target if besides the draft or whatnot? Like who's somebody you have an eye on that maybe could help this team?
Oh, there's a lot of players. I mean, I always wanted to see if we could get DeJounte Murray. I thought like maybe a pick and Randall could get that done. DeJounte Murray. I'm so mad that we missed out on Halliburton. I just don't know
Oh,
how. If he was available, I don't know how we didn't lock him down.
but for
Um,
who? For whom? Who would you have traded for Halliburton?
for Halliburton, I mean, I would have gave them IQ, Obi, a pick. Who else do they want? That's not RJ Barrett.
I
I mean,
mean, but the Kings were looking clearly for a player. They were going to trying to make this play in. That's what they will go. That's why they got Sabonis, a two-time All-Star who's 25 years old.
yeah, but
So
I mean, Julius is comparable to Sabonis. I
come
mean, they
on,
got
man, for
different
sure.
players now, but I mean, every time they play, Julius dominates Sabonis. So
I mean,
time.
it says a lot. It says a lot, man. I had this discussion not too long ago about who's better than that, and I put them in the same tier. Maybe Julius has a slight edge because at the same time, the head-to-head matchups, speak clearly who's
right.
better than the other. But at the same time, is more what I see the differences is probably the IQ and whatnot. Like,
Also, I think just the compatibility. I think for Sabonis's game, he's a better match with De'Aaron. He's not gonna really, he's not gonna dribble the ball all day like Randall was sometimes. He's gonna play more pick and roll, pick and pop type.
yeah, yeah.
And also the season, Randall has been terrible this season. I mean, his three-pointer has fallen off a cliff. His turnovers is disgusting. I mean, he always jumps in the air and then looks to pass it. His coaches
Bro,
don't understand why
that's
you continuously do that every game, but
that
that's
has to be the most frustrating
I
thing
just
ever.
feel like Randall just needs to play like a traditional power forward sometimes. He tries to like handle the ball way too much. Like set some screens, bro.
Some real screens too.
Open, roll to the rim. Like
I
you are
think
like
coaching though. That's
all of
definitely
your
coaching.
matchups on most nights.
Yeah.
That's definitely coaching who they allow him to do that. I mean, if you're a coach, you tell this player don't touch the ball unless you're rolling down after a pick and roll. I mean, the Knicks have allowed him and enabled him to do that. Maybe due to the fact that they haven't had a point guard for
A
the
point
last
guard
few years.
too.
That could be a factor. But at the same time, I mean, how many times do you have to jump in the air and then look for a pass? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it is what it is, man. But let me touch briefly on the tank and or playing. Um, the Knicks never have lottery odds. I mean, I know you don't want to harp on the past, but how many times have the Knicks had a bad record and have fallen back? Anyways, it doesn't. I don't remember in recent memory any time the Knicks move forward. Me and John Juan have linked up for the last three drafts, and we have countless videos of us being upset that the Knicks fall back in the draft. And it's just like I'm gonna I'm gonna try to cheat on this answer, tank or playing. I just want to see the young guys ball, which they've been doing. Finally, quickly is waking up. Joshua, you mentioned it. He is not a traditional point guard. He doesn't really know how to run the team. But a big factor is D Rose missing all this time. If D Rose was still here, him and IQ. I mean, IQ had a great season last year due to D Rose being in the building. So it's a lot of personnel. I mean, look, I think we all can agree on this right here. The Knicks need a point guard. I mean, it's just bad how the Knicks need a point guard. Juan mentioned it, how many countless 20-point leads they've blown. I mean, that's point guard work right there, slowing down the tempo. I mean, things get sloppy. The Knicks shrink in the fourth quarter. They don't know what to do on offense. They run the same play, throw it to Randall, and just hope and pray that he can do something. And that's just not how you're going to win any basketball game. So I'm just letting the
Yeah,
chips fall where they fall. I mean, I don't really care wins and losses these last few games. It sucks that Cam Reddish is going to be out. That's going to be trash. But I mean, hopefully we get Obi back. Hopefully we get Grimes back,
facts.
and we see what the rotation is going to be. Like Taj definitely should be an OG in the bench, just telling Sims what to do on the court. I mean, it's pretty upsetting when you see Sims play 6 minutes yesterday. I mean, come on. Taj played a great game, don't get me wrong. He hit a nice corner threes. He plays great defense, but it's like we're past that. You know, we want to see what Sims got, especially with Mitchell Robinson coming up on free agency. I mean, we all think we
Right.
can sign him, but you never know how free agency wraps up.
That's the real elephant. We might lose Mitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that would be
for
pretty bad.
nothing,
That would be pretty bad.
for nothing, man. And it's Cam is out, so it just means a little more Alec Burks in our life, a little more Fournier in our life.
Oh my God, Alec Burks,
I mean,
man.
it's not gonna be Ryan Archiano. It's not gonna be him playing. It's not gonna be anybody from the G League. Hey, a little more Alec Burks.
Let's see, man. Let
A little
me
more Alec
briefly
Burks has gotten a lot of losses.
Let
That's
me
all I'm
briefly
saying.
talk about the next three games here and give you a little chance to predict. We got Memphis on Friday, Brooklyn on Sunday, and then we got Portland on Tuesday, back at home. It's been a
Mm.
long road trip. We're gonna be back at home on Sunday. Joshua, I know you say you want them to go 0-16. Do you see a win in the horizon in these three games right here?
No, I actually think they're gonna get up to play Memphis.
Ooh, big
In
time.
Ooh.
that last game we had, Memphis kind of punked them, and I think they all took that. You could tell after the game they was all a little agitated about just how that game was. So I think they're gonna get up to play Memphis. I don't know if they'll win, but I think it's gonna be a close game. If they keep playing like they've been playing, I think we got a real shot to win.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's big time. I mean, I just want to beat Memphis just because that whack comment that they came to New York and talking about we run up the chimney for the smoke. Like, what you
Yeah,
talking about? That was a terrible statement to say here
Yeah.
in New York. I just want to beat Memphis to get revenge.
I think the players feel the same way. Players they check those games off their calendar, so I think
Of
they definitely.
course.
Let's see it. Randall got ejected that game, I believe, too. You know,
Mhm.
so he might definitely get up and he's been balling. But Don Juan, you're an optimistic guy. You always have
Hey.
to make one undefeated. What you think about
Damn, I wasn't that optimistic. Give me one and I'm gonna keep it simple, keep it low, not too high, not too low. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. I've been saying that we're gonna win that Portland game. I'm gonna stick with it. But
Mhm.
Memphis, like you guys mentioned, I'm pretty sure these guys, I mean, they've been playing some great ball. I mean, against the Sixers, they play well. Granted, is James Harden and Embiid. The Suns, that was a great competitive game. I think these guys been showing me enough that they're gonna show out. But it's just, damn, Memphis is a great team, man. It's a talented team, and the Nets, who knows? Ben Simmons might come and play on Sunday. I wouldn't doubt it. So I'll say 1 and 2, 1 and 2 these next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean
Reasonable.
that's reasonable. Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't
we
say
lost the Blazers already. We cannot lose to them again.
Yeah.
I gotta be different. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Ooh.
We either get that Brooklyn game, with no Kyrie. I doubt Ben Simmons comes back. I think they come back home and then they try to show out, and that Portland game has to be a win. It has
Has
to
to
be
be.
on that Portland game. I mean, we're not even going to discuss that any further. But let's go a little rapid fire here, Joshua, before we let you talk about what you're doing in the community right now. But let's go rapid fire with Nick's questions. I'll ask the first question. Juan's going to ask the second one. The first question is, well, who's your all-time favorite Nick, all-time ever?
My all-time favorite Nick definitely has to be Melo. Um,
Yeah.
Definitely got to be Melo. Melo was already one of my favorite players, so when he came to the Knicks, like I was hype, and then it was up and down, but he gave us some good years, some memorable games, the 60
Mm.
point games, back to back 50-point games. That game against Chicago when he hit the back to back buzzer beaters, like
Yeah,
those are
Bro.
like good times, and
especially for us, man, younger generation Knicks fans that just we didn't experience that finals run really. You know, we was very young, and
right,
Mhm.
Melo bought that in. And I always say this that every game, even how bad the Knicks were, like the Knicks were trash, starting those Jose Calderon down, all that
Oh
that it was
my.
garbage. But you
Oh
felt
man.
like every game, you never knew if Melo could get hot enough, and he will lead you to a win by himself, and he did that a lot, and that's why
Yeah,
Melo is definitely one of my all-time favorite Knicks as well, for sure.
that's a fact. All right. When did you become a Knicks fan? Was he, elaborate a bit on that.
I think I really became. I always watched the Knicks growing up, but I think I really became a Knicks fan with the '99 Finals run. I just remember watching every game of the playoffs with my family, and I just really, when they lost to the Spurs, I was tight. I was I was heated. I was like devastated, and I think that's when I really got the Knicks hooks in me, and I've just been a Knicks fan ever since that. Like I never really rooted for other team. I had other favorite players like Iverson, obviously Kobe, but I was never like really a Sixer or Lakers fan. I was always riding with the Knicks.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. I remember. I feel like that's one of my first memory as a Nick as well. That Spurs. It's like I never even knew how to say Van Gundy's name, and I felt like that day I learned it, and it was like too late because the season was over, and then I just go
Yes.
from there. I mean, it had to be that because after that, it was a bad 15. What was it? 10 years. It was a bad decade
It was
after
a
that.
bad
Yeah, it was
stretch.
bad,
It was
man.
a
It
bad
was bad.
stretch.
They
We had
called
It
it.
was
some
bad.
little highlight moments, but it was bad for the most part.
Yeah, the highlights get eliminated
Marbury
in the
when
first
he came,
round. That's about it.
And
yeah,
I used
like
to always
Marbury
get
came.
mad at Juan because he was a Knicks and Lakers fan, so he was always happy no matter what happened. You know, the Knicks lost, he'll be like, "Yo, but Kobe had
But
this."
Kobe.
Bro, what are you? What are you, man? What are you? I can't even really.
Hey, I take the lottery pick and the championship. Oh, never mind. The Knicks never had a lottery pick because they always traded it.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
Bad
Jeez.
time, man. And let's wrap it up with your most memorable or your favorite game, uh, as a Knicks fan.
My most my favorite game definitely that Melo Bulls game when he hit the back to back buzzer beaters in fourth
Hmm,
quarter and overtime. Like I got chills watching that game. Like
classic.
And that
watching
was like a
Sunday.
Sunday.
Easter
so
Sunday.
hype. Like even I just watched some replays of that game and I still got like that same feeling. Like it was unbelievable. I think as a Knicks fan, like that was my high as as a Knicks fan. Like I don't think we've hit that point again. Like that was my high as a
Yeah.
Knicks fan. I thought like after that I was like we going to the chip. We winning all this shit.
Facts.
Yeah,
Nah, I hear
Tyson
that.
Chandler,
Bro,
defensive player of the year in the
that was
middle.
a that was a good Bulls team, man, led by D Rose. And we had all the pieces. I mean, Iman Shumpert was doing his best thing, doing his best 3-and-D,
Man, J.R. Smith.
Yeah, we
JR.
were second in the
That
East
was
that year. I mean, we had everything going for us. I think if Tyson Chandler didn't get the flu before the playoffs, maybe it would have been different. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we always say this. We had Miami's number that year. I don't know
we
if we won
definitely did.
3-0
beat
or
them every single game in the regular season that year.
we had Miami's number. I mean, LeBron definitely turned it up a notch in the playoffs. So he was gonna expect that, but it's like that would have just been a battle that is a shame we're never gonna be able to see. It's all the what ifs. Maybe the biggest what if, not maybe, definitely the biggest what
Definitely
if
the biggest what if.
in the last decade. You know, it's just like that year was just magical, man, and it sucks that we never gonna see what happened. But yeah, Joshua, man, what a time right here. Got all your points through, and let's see how these Knicks finish up this regular season, man. It's gonna be a fun ride and a weird ride. It's been a roller coaster season, so we know it's gonna continuously be rocky, and we'll see how the lottery ends. And maybe we got to get up, we got to catch up, we got to see the lottery together, man. May 17th is that date. You gotta
Mm,
bring that luck. Bring your lucky hat, your lucky rock, anything you need.
Absolutely. We'll see. I just want to see RJ cook for the rest of the season. Like
hey,
every game, I'm rooting for him to get over 20, over get another 30-point game. So I think he's the future of the team. As
Yeah,
long as he continues to grow, we'll be all right.
mm,
yeah, man, for
that's a
sure.
fact.
But
That's a fact.
yeah, Joshua, I'm gonna give you the platform right now here just to speak a little bit about what you do with the community. I briefly stated some of your accolades. There's so many, everything, all the boards you're on, and we talked before the show things that you're pushing and things that you're gathering. So I just want to give you the platform to speak on whatever you want and just educate the people. That's what we talk about all the time. Education is key, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought up education because I think that's the most important thing that I do and other people who are in this space try to do is try to inform and educate people just about what's going on in your community. It could be, why is this development being built here? Who is it going to benefit? What's going on with your local transit infrastructure, things of that nature, with small businesses in your community. How can you get, as a young person, get funding, get access to capital to start a business or get grants to start a nonprofit in your community and sort of create some of the things that we want to see. So that's kind of what I do as just a civic community leader. Being on a community board is sharing information, making sure people are aware of what's going on, helping to educate people when there's new programs in the city, new laws, so that people can take advantage of it, and then also helping people understand the whole political process in New York City. So right now we have our local elections coming up, not local, but our state and federal elections. So people are going to have the ability to vote for your state assembly person, your state senator, and your member of Congress. So that's really, really important because these people, especially in the state and federal level, they're really responsible for bringing in all the funding that goes to our communities, that goes towards creating more affordable housing, protecting tenants' rights with new laws like some of the tenant protections we've passed in recent years to allow people to stay in their apartments throughout this pandemic. All these things are really important, and so you need to make sure that the people that's going to be elected in June are really representing your community, really representing your interests, and also just really showing up for things that you care about. Whether it's um, funding our CUNY, our city universities, making it more affordable, making it tuition free for everybody. Things like that that really impact and matter to young people, or whether it's about criminal justice reform, making sure that people who are formerly incarcerated get the job development, career development that they need, so that they don't continue to stay in these cycles of recidivism and in jail, or whether it's about cannabis, making sure that these new cannabis programs are really inclusive of people of color, young people in our community, so that we can take advantage of these new industries, emerging economies in the state. So all these things is always on the table. So I always encourage people get the information, learn more, ask questions, show up to meetings in your community. So if people want to get involved more, they can follow me on Instagram at Joshua Clennon. Reach out, ask me questions. I can plug you in wherever you need to go to find more information in your community. You can also go on my website at joshuaclennon.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter that I send out, and it blasts a whole bunch of information, a lot of things we just touched on. so you can stay up to date with new information, new topics, ways that you can get involved, and just make your voices heard.
Yeah, bro.
Hey,
Wow.
bro.
Definitely powerful, powerful words. Education is key. Make sure to reach out, Joshua. Smart, plug you in the right way. And like we know, he's a Knicks fan, a big Knicks fan, sees things the way you do. Play the kids, get tank, get the highest lottery possible. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the past if we never move up. This is a new year, man. This is a new year. Everything's brand new. I'm sure that luck is on our side now. So Joshua, it was a complete pleasure to finally connect me with you. I'm definitely going to be asking you tons of questions because I'm super curious about a lot of the things that you advocate for. So I appreciate you for coming on the show. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for finally meeting you. And Don
Thanks,
Juan, get us
bro.
up out of here.
Hey, bro. Josh, thank you for joining the show, being a part of this. I mean, Knicks fans got to stick together, especially through this
Sure.
long process of trying to ultimately win a championship. But it is what it is. I mean, we still, we sticking through the highs, we sticking through the lows. It don't matter. We are Knicks fans. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel at 100 subs. We are giving away an RJ jersey. Is official. We're giving away an RJ jersey. So make sure to subscribe so you can have a chance. Oh, I was actually going to ask you what jersey was that, but you
You know
saw it
what?
there. You
One
see it
thing.
here too. RJ
I
jersey
didn't
all
even,
day.
I didn't even
Make
have to
sure you
ask. I didn't even
make
have
sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to get a chance to win an RJ jersey. Also, if you're interested in other sports, man, check out my guys at Off the Ball Network. We're always holding it down. Them guys talk about football, baseball. Baseball just can't. Talk about baseball real quick. They just agreed on the CBA. Baseball's around the corner, man. I can't wait. Yankees. They hopefully they turn the city around because it's been gloomy in this New York sports. New York sports been a little sad, but we're here though. We're here though, man. We're here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Joshua, again, thank you for coming on, and we up out of here. Peace.